Good morning. Oops. Oh, jeez. That was a little louder than I wanted it to be. Morning. How's everyone doing? Hello, hello. I am good. How are you, Bridget? Just excited to have my coffee as usual. You're super. That's excellent. It's a great outlook. I'm just opening a new coffee thing. Hey, Becca. Morning, Sloth. Ah, yes, thank you to our Canadian friend. You're on your second cup of coffee. It must be later where you're, or maybe you just wake up earlier. Either way is good. Anyone doing anything fun today? Anyone doing anything good? It's 10, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. What am I doing? I'm getting coffee. Hey, Brian. You doing anything fun today, Brian? Depends on who you ask if it's going to be fun. I'm asking you. It's your niece's birthday. Well, that's exciting. She's almost birthday twins with my niece. Hey, Renee. Hatching. Happy hatching the egg. Yeah. Morning. Mostly taking a nap and hanging out with close family. That's very lovely. I like it. Sounds great. I'm gonna work, obviously. My nephew's birthday was yesterday, he's 11. Aw, it's cute. My niece turned 4 on the 2nd. I'm gonna work a little bit today, but we are gonna grill a little bit, and maybe sit by the pool a little bit too. Just try to relax a little, but also get some slime made. Maybe a 7-mile run and the gym puzzle, maybe both. Brian, have you been able to upload a video in the last 24 hours? I'm going to my sister-in-law's house, many people in town, 87 degrees. 87's not the worst. Like, it could be worse. I don't know about the whole sister-in-law's house and many people in town thing, though. I'm hoping the sun comes up so we can sit by the pool. Right now, it's too gloomy. It's just too gloomy. I can't go out there like this. Crazy. 87 in New York, though. Yeah, that's true. The humidity's bad. 87 here is not really bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Although I can't even remember the last time it got up to 87 here, to be honest with you. Gosh, I just don't even remember right now. It's been pretty nice recently. I mean, it's been in the 60s for as long as I can remember right now. Yeah, I don't know. It's actually breezy today, so I'll take that with the 87 is a good day here, but hard but not 70. Yeah. Morning, Jen. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. heat index, 87. Eesh. I'm currently scared Suffs doesn't realize its protagonist enough. Wait, I'm currently scared of the Suffs doesn't realize its protagonist enough. Brigade. Villainize. Okay. What are they doing? Are they attacking all your videos? Yes, it took me a second, Brian, but I got that. I got it. I understand what you mean. You mean the people. I just realized my Patreon didn't go through, but I have it fixed. Sorry. Oh, no worries. That happens. That's not unusual. Sometimes people need to switch cards. Things happen. Hey, Amanda. That's not unusual at all. So don't stress. Congrats on the matter of fact shout out. Thanks. Hopefully some people will buy the book from it. So far, not yet, but maybe one day. So far, it hasn't moved the needle really. I thought it was gonna a little bit, but I guess people on her page just didn't care. Oh well, it is what it is. Am I right? What are you gonna do? Oh, I don't blame you, Brian. I don't even have a day job, and I'm fearful of them. I do not blame you, Brian. Keyboard warriors get out of control. Like, Brian, have you noticed that they can, maybe it's different for the type of videos you post, Brian, but to me, the worst people are on Instagram. That's where most of the keyboard, like my TikTok is pretty clear of that. I do okay over here, but on Instagram, man, oh man. You know. Delicious. Delicious. What do we think? What do we think about this hair? Oh, look at Harmony's rehearsal videos from Broadway World. Oh, wow. I mean, you know. Broadway World is a cesspool. Morning, Jennifer. I remember when I used to occasionally look at the message boards for Broadway World and I was like, these people need a hobby. And they think this is it. But morning, Anya. They need like a peaceful hobby that won't hurt anyone, you know? Something like that. No, it's their Instagram. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sure it's a mess. Instagram people, it's so wild. You know what I think it is? I have a theory. So it used to be, over the last couple of years, that the majority of TikTok was younger with a heavy progressive millennial base, right? So like millennials, I'm not even talking politically progressive, but like mentally progressive millennials were on TikTok, but like behind the times millennials were only still on Instagram and boomers were on Facebook. My theory is that boomers have moved off of Facebook to Instagram a little bit, and that is causing some of the turmoil, or Gen X's also there, you know what I'm saying? And I think that causes a lot of the vitriol. Hey, Rainbow Dads. A lot of the vitriol over there is caused by people in that gap. Like, the only place where I ever see any hate comments is pretty much on Instagram. Unless it's about my fingers, and then it's everywhere. Everyone likes to complain about my fingers, regardless of where we were. That would make sense. Insta's algorithm is less pinpointed. Right, exactly. Hey, Valerie. So it's not like here where I get my same people with the same interests all the time. It like goes a little wide, you know? Hey, Naisa. So yeah, the only thing I ever get hate on everywhere is my fingers. Everything else is only on Instagram. Yeah. Here on TikTok, very rarely. Very, very rarely. And YouTube, I only have like 70,000 followers on YouTube, so it's not really enough to warrant it, which is good for a lack of echo chamber because sure, of course, but when it comes to like slime and like the kind of stuff I do, I don't need, you know, something, the echo chamber's fine for me. What's wrong with your fingers? People just don't like my fingers, you guys. It's a common thing. It's been ever since I started making videos, people really don't like my fingers and the way that they move. They get freaked out by them. And so they like to comment on it because they think there's something I can do about it. There's not. They just are what they are. I was born this way. I haven't had like
finger reconstruction surgery or anything, but they really feel the need to let me know that my fingers bother them. That's always the term. Your fingers bother me. The way your fingers move bothers me. Your fingers scare me. Things like that. That's the common thing that I hear. But other than that, I don't get very much of anything. Hey, Chelsea. Yeah, they do. They have so many issues. I know my fingers can do things that other people's can't do because they're hypermobile, but like, it's not that bad. I don't think it's enough to like warrant, you know, hatred. Wait, you haven't? Finger reconstruction surgery is very cheap and very real. Thank you, Brian. Hey, Cass. Cass, have any of your videos come out of review yet? Mine are still all under review. Has anyone been able to post a video in the last 24 hours? Anybody? I was able to post a photo, but no videos in the last 24 hours. Why comment on anyone's editing? I agree, Nicole. I agree with you. It looks cool what your fingers can do. Yeah, they don't like this. They really don't like this. They don't like that I can do this with my fingers. Hey, Maggie, this bothers them, that I can do that without like pulling them back. Like when I'm pressing slime, the fact that my fingers did this. What time yesterday, Grace? Because I was able to post one right after book club yesterday and then not again for the rest of the day. Grace, I think yours was before the down. I think TikTok is a little down. I posted a story. I think stories are working because Cass got a story through. Yours was in review for 2 hours. Valerie, mine at 5:30 p.m., Grace? Really? So you're not part of it. Valerie, mine, I privated it then. Oh, mine's been under review for 24 hours. Good thing I don't make videos because mine do the same. Sounds like a them problem. I think so. I think it's a TikTok-wide problem, Jennifer. I think you're right because it's happening to more than one person. If it was just my account, I'd be like, okay, something's wrong with my account. But it's happening to Cass. It looks like it's happening to Valerie. It's happening on my book account. Weird, maybe because stitches are free for TikTok. Oh, and then it hit 42K. Interesting. Interesting. What happens if you repost now? Nothing. I tried again this morning. Same video. It won't go up. I posted a stitch. I saw your stitch, Grace. I commented on it, didn't I? I thought I did. I did see it. The one about the house and the fire. I saw that. Okay, well, the fact is, I think it's a TikTok glitch. I don't think it's us. If it's happening to all different people with all different account sizes, try restarting the app. I did. I even like closed it for a couple of hours and then came back to it. Hi, Gloria. All right, I'll restart the phone. I could also uninstall and reinstall the app and see if that helps. It could also be because the fourth, they're throttling the algorithm, but it's not even algorithm. It's just under review. It's not even like it's not doing well. It's not even available. I can't even link anyone to it. Because I tried to link my Patreon people to see the Bing Bong video for the slime, and it was like, nope. I was like, okay, well, viral videos much more than my usual content. Interesting. That's very interesting, Brian. Very interesting. Yeah, it's strange. All right, well, thank you all for being a sounding board for this information for Cass and I. We were curious because yesterday we were both pulling our hair out of our heads, and I don't think either of us can afford to lose any more hair, which is typically a sign that things are down. Yes, it is. It is, Brian. I've been seeing so many old videos lately for like the last week. I've been seeing things from like May from people I follow. I'm like, hey, I already saw this video. This is May. It's July. Like, what is happening, you guys? We need to not. Can you like give me current? I follow these people for a reason. Okay, YouTube sloth. Okay, so it's not me then. Okay, it's not my account. It's just a them issue. Yes, me too, Brian. Yes. Okay, so Grace too. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, Cass, your video just went up. Cass's video just went up. Cass, are you still in here? Your video just went up. I just saw a thing that said Cass posted a video. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Ashlyn. My husband drew the cover of my book. He is an artist, literally. That's his job. So yeah. I mean, it's fixed for Cass. I don't know if it's fixed for me. Can anyone see if any of my videos went up? I can't see from here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, I have a second device that goes, oh, thank you. It's still weird to say husband. You know what? It's not that weird. The last one I see is 19 hours ago, so no. Okay, well, thank you, Grace, for checking. 19 hours ago is the fear one, I assume, right? Sigh. Big sigh. All right, well, let's read, because this cover is in the color of fireworks and whatever. When did you guys make it official? We got married on the 12th, specifically for the date, because it was 6/12/24, and that is too cool of a date to pass up. You can't miss something that cool when you are superstitious like I am. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Yeah. So that's fun. All right, let's go ahead and read. It's a very good day, 11 numbers. Yes, thank you, Grace, for validating my insanity about the numbers. Just the fear innate. Okay, thank you, Sloth. I appreciate that. So Cass's went up, but mine did not. Well, congrats to Cass for getting out of the jail, two-time jail. Good job, Cass. Good job to Cass for getting out of TikTok jail. Bad news for me, I'm still in it. Let's read while we're in jail, because there's very few things you're allowed to do in jail, but reading is always one of them. I think, anyway. I'm gonna try to, oh, fun. All right, Chapter 5, The Alchemist. It was the early hours of the morning in the righteous empire, and the young emperor was wide awake. He paced up and down the throne room of his righteous palace, previously known as the Champion Castle, muttering insults to an imaginary figure in his head. That's right, Grace. Even with a fire raging in the spacious fireplace, the throne room was freezing, and the emperor could see his breath as he talked to himself. The emperor burned portraits of former kings and deceased relatives just to keep warm. A map of the 4 kingdoms and 5 territories had been painted over the marble floor. Colorful pawns were placed throughout the map to represent different leaders and the sizes of their armies. Seven hadn't slept in 2 days. In fact, he rarely slept at all anymore. Sounds like Renee. His desire to kill the fairy godmother stayed with him day and night like a stain on his consciousness. After everything he had done, he couldn't believe that she was still alive. The frustration was unbearable, and it ate at him like a disease. Seven had always been an attractive young man, but the last year had aged him significantly. His handsome face was now adorned with wrinkles and heavy bags under his bloodshot eyes. His tall and muscular build had withered into a skeletal frame, and at just 17 years old, Seven's dark hair begun to gray at his temples. Hey, Cass, we saw your video just went up. Congratulations. I think you weren't in here when we said it, but we all saw that your most recent video went. It is there now. I got an alert. Why was she at the library? Seven repeated the question to himself over and over again. What was she looking for? What sort of book could she need? There was a knock on the door, and the High Commander entered with 5 dead soldiers. My lord, we've completed the cleanse, he said. And? Seven pressed. Oh, we've searched every residence in the kingdom and destroyed every book, just as you asked, he reported. Well, did you find anything out of the ordinary? Seven asked. No, sir, the High Commander said. It was mostly encyclopedias and scrapbooks. One woman had a collection of stolen menus, but nothing we would believe to be interest to her. Seven growled and angrily kicked the pawns representing the fairy council across the floor. So whatever she's looking for, it isn't in our kingdom. The High Commander nervously cleared his throat. My lord, when this empire was formed, there was talk of expanding our borders, he said. The empire is running low on food and supplies. If we don't do something drastic, many will start to starve. Perhaps the book is the perfect excuse to start invading other territories? Yes, we'll begin the invasion once the fairy godmother is dead. Seven took a deep breath, trying to calm his rage. She remains our greatest threat. We must eliminate her before we make other enemies. So bring me Bristol Evergreen's head on a platter, and then we'll talk about conquering the world. Well, that's assuming there's a world left to conquer. The Emperor and the High Commander exchanged a curious glance. The comment hadn't come from either of them. They turned to the back of the room and saw a third person had appeared out of thin air. A short man had seated himself on the Emperor's throne. His legs weren't long enough to touch the floor, and his tiny feet dangled over the cushion. The man had a wide face like a toad and squinty eyes behind a pair of glasses with round frames that were shaped like the gears of a clock. He wore a long robe and a matching pointed cap made from a bronze material. His robe and his hat were embroidered with numbers and mathematical equations Seven had never seen before. This strange man also carried a bronze cane that was engraved with more complicated formulas. Forgive the intrusion, the man said. and hopped down from the throne. It's horribly rude to enter someone's home unannounced, but I promise my rudeness is not unwarranted. For being completely alone and defenseless, this intruder had an unusually calm and jolly disposition. He hobbled toward the emperor and offered him a handshake. Guards, seize this trespasser, Seven ordered. The dead soldiers charged after him. The man tapped his cane on the floor, and suddenly the soldiers flew into the air and were held against the ceiling by an invisible force. Alarmed, the emperor and the high commander raced for the doors, but with another tap, the man's cane slammed the doors shut. Not to worry, I take no offense to your hostility, the man said with a friendly laugh. The fight or flight response is perfectly normal reaction to the unexpected presence of a stranger. It's one of many primitive and predictable traits of our human nature, although in my opinion the primitive and predictable are usually one and the same. I'll take your overstimulated senses exactly 12 seconds to calm down, and then you'll return to a normal brain functioning state. I'll time you. The man checked his watch, and true to his word, exactly 12 seconds later the emperor's fear did wear off, and he was able to form words again. Who are you? Seven roared. Splendid. You did move on from fight or flight and have reached the questioning portion of our conversation, he said. Since the mind processes information in a who, how, what, why, and when sequence, I find it's best to give information in that order. So, who am I? My name is Dr. States. It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Once again, the man offered Seven a handshake, but the emperor did not accept. How did you get in here? Seven demanded. And the how, right on schedule, Dr. States said. This may be difficult to comprehend, but being a man bound by locks and keys like yourself, I simply willed myself, and here I am. So you're one of them, Seven exclaimed. You're magic scum. And now for the what? Dr. States said. And yes, your suspicion is correct. I am a member of the magical community. However, not what you would consider a fairy or a witch. I happen to be an alchemist. And what in God's name is an alchemist? Seven sneers. It means I am a devoted steward of alchemy, the age-old practice of combining all things magic with all things science. Science? Yes, it's the study of things, Dr. States said with a patronizing wink. The emperor's nostrils flared. I know what science is. I'm trying to understand how it could be associated with something as vile as magic. Oh, on the contrary, it's a beautiful marriage, Dr. States said, examining the wonders of science with the advantages of magic and the wonders of magic with the advantages of science has given alchemists a deeper understanding of how the universe operates. You see, just like fairies and witches, every alchemist is born with a magical specialty. Except our specialties have a scientific nature. For example, I was born with the physical ability the unique ability to manipulate the laws of physics. And what are physics? Seven asked. Oh, it's the study of motion, he explained. For instance, everything that goes up must come down. Dr. States tapped his cane on the floor and the dead soldiers fell from the ceiling. With a second tap, the soldiers were thrown against the wall and then held in place. I happen to be the director of the Great Alchemy Institute, Dr. States said. We study a great number of subjects in the Institute. Chemistry, biology, astrology, zoology, geology, just to name a few. Although, to you, it probably sounds like I'm speaking an entirely different language. There are many things about the Institute that I don't expect a common man to be able to comprehend. Seven scowled at the alchemist. He couldn't think of a bigger insult than being called common. Why have I never heard or seen anything about this Alchemy Institute? He asked. A coy grin stretched across Dr. State's wide face. Oh, we like to keep to ourselves, he said. You see, alchemists are not only committed to studying a planet, we are also devoted protectors of it. The Alchemy Institute has been around for thousands of years, but we only interact with humanity when absolutely necessary. And as of last night, I am afraid to report the world has entered the gravest peril, period, in recorded history. So that's why you're here, Seven yelled. You've come to stop me and my empire. Dr. States giggled at the emperor as though he were a foolish child. No, he said. Alchemists do not concern themselves with social or political affairs. We couldn't care less about your aspirations of global domination. Well, good luck with that. We find every civilization destroys themselves eventually, so why bother getting involved? As I said before, our priority is protecting the planet. And as of right now, if we do not take immediate action, every living creature on the earth may perish. Dr. States tapped the floor with his cane again, and a black shadow moved through the painting of the world below their feet. Soon all the kingdoms and territories were consumed in total darkness, and the pawns crumbled into mounds of dust. The alchemists had the Emperor's undivided attention now. What are we in danger from? Seven asked. Late last night, the Eastern Kingdom suffered a horrible tragedy. Dr. States said, more than half of Iron Hand was destroyed in a massive fire, but it was no ordinary fire. In fact, we have reason to believe it was an attack, and we think it was just the first of many more to come. The Emperor and the High Commander looked to each other with concern. So, what do you want with me? Seven asked. Dr. States removed his glasses and casually cleaned them as he explained. Whenever a crisis of this magnitude occurs, alchemists turn to diplomacy for a solution. We invite the leaders of each independent nation to the Alchemy Institute for gathering knowledge as the Conference of Kings. There, we discuss the matter at hand and determine the best way to resolve it. Being the Emperor of the righteous empire makes you the King of the South, and therefore you are eligible to attend the next gathering. I've come to formally extend an invitation to you. When is this conference? Seven asked. Tonight, Dr. States said. This evening at 5 o'clock sharp. The Institute will send transportation to the home of every world leader. Each leader is welcome to bring 2 guests to help represent their territory. I highly recommend you take your seat at the table. Seven gave him a suspicious glare. How can I trust you? He asked. How do I know this isn't an ambush? Well, technically speaking, I suppose you don't, Dr. States said with a shrug. All I can give you is my word that you'll be protected while attending the conference. However, if I did have any ill intentions, it would be much easier to just kill you here and now and save myself the trouble of inviting you to my home, don't you agree? The Emperor raised an eyebrow at the alchemist. He did make a good point. All right then, he said. I'll consider attending. Splendid, Dr. States said with a wide grin. We hope to see you soon. Dr. States tapped his cane twice and vanished from the throne room. Seven rubbed his graying temples as he processed all the information the alchemist had just shared. But oddly, the Eastern Kingdom fire wasn't what worried him the most. He couldn't put his finger on it, but there was something very unsettling about the Alchemy Institute. The more he thought about it, the more intimidated he became, and Seven grew desperate to see the Institute with his own eyes. Were you serious about attending the gathering, my lord? The High Commander asked. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was, Seven said. It appears I might have been mistaken. The fairy godmother might not be our greatest threat after all. Dun dun dun! Well, new character unlocked, you guys. We got a brand new character, an alchemist. We've never met an alchemist before. This is very exciting. Whoa. I do have to scooch because my mom and my sister are blowing up our family group chat, and I need to go make sure they're all okay. But I hope you all have a great holiday, and I will see you later. Have a great day, you guys.